Hello and welcome to haQ attaQ. My name is Jakob and you're watching a haQ attaQ episode. In this episode, we're gonna have a little chat about why I love noise gates so much, and I'm gonna use Audio Damage's latest plugin called Channel Strip. You see, it contains a noise gate at the beginning, then it has an equalizer section, a compressor section, and a section with a bypass, a mute, an input, and an output control. So basically, I'm not gonna review the whole thing, but I am gonna show you why I love noise gates so much and how to use them to actually save some of your recordings when you're working within noisy rooms. So my problem is that inside this room, I have a noisy fan. Look at this. So here's the noisy fan and it goes on all the time in my room. A constant background noise can be very annoying to listen to, especially for creative people like me at least. I can only talk for myself, but I think that a lot of you might recognize this. When you hear a constant background hum or a noise or anything, you get annoyed. And so a noise gate is great to use, but sometimes it's not when the noise is too loud. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch over to a microphone I received during the Thomann Synth Reactor 2019 event. So this is a Shure MV88 microphone. It's a stereo microphone, and I'm actually gonna switch over to that one now. So here we can hear the Shure MV88 microphone. It's a stereo microphone, and so if I go to one side, you should be able to hear me more on that side. And if I go to the other side, you should be able to hear me more on that side. So I'm gonna sit right in front of it and talk right into it. Now I want you to pay close attention to the noise in the background. Now there's a constant noise there, and it's coming from the fan. Also a bit of noise from outside of the window, in cars and other stuff. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how to use a noise gate properly. So I'm going to pop it in here. And again, the noise gate is situated at the beginning of the plugin from Audio Damage here. So here we have 4 controls. The on-off button, we have a threshold, an attack, and a release. I'm going to make sure that the attack is short and the release is short. And I'm gonna pull the threshold all the way up. Now the threshold sets the level where audio gets muted. So as you can see in this window, you can see the peaks when I'm talking. But if I'm quiet for a bit, you can see that there's a lot of noise and stuff going on in the background, even if I do some minor breathing. Stuff like this can ruin a recording, really, and a noise gate is great for saving recordings like this. However, I want to add that if this noise is way louder, like say you're doing a recording on the street, then in those cases a noise gate might actually make the audio sound really, really, really bad. A lot of camera setups in there. Pretty expensive stuff, more than I use. And it's going to be interesting because I don't work like that normally. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to say the least. Every time the noise gate opens up for audio to pass through, if you have a loud noise floor in the background, you know, with cars and stuff going on, then every time it opens up, you're gonna have car sounds with every word you're saying, and it's not gonna sound that good. It's gonna sound really weird. What you wanna do in those cases is you wanna focus more on the equalizer settings, just to make sure that the frequency spectrum where your voice is at is more emphasized than maybe some of the car sounds in the background. However, we're going to use the threshold now to cancel out the noise in the background. But this is not perfect. I'll show you why. So if I turn this on now, we're not going to hear any audio. So you could see me, but you couldn't hear me, and that's because the threshold is way too high. It's muting all of the audio. So we need to turn that down. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And here we can actually start hearing me better. But if we listen closely, we can hear that there's still noise here. And we can even see that the plugin is trying to cut something out by looking at this indicator here. And so the threshold is still too low. We have the threshold below the noise, so we need to pull it up a bit. And here we are at a more safe level. Now remember, at the beginning I actually did make sure that both the release and the attack were as short as possible. and that can create problems. I did that just to demonstrate something, because when you have them that short, you might still hear some glitchiness going on, almost like distortion. And in order to minimize that, you have to increase the attack a little bit, increase the release a little bit. So those two dials works like an envelope for the noise gate. Because remember, the lower you have your threshold, the more sensitive the gate is going to be to all kinds of sounds. And now we have a softer attack, a softer release, and so we don't get that constant glitchiness going on. But remember, you need to talk at the same constant amplitude in order for this to work properly. So if you happen to relax for a bit and you change the volume output of your voice, then you might get some crackling again. The noise is still there, it's not being cleaned out. But since the gate is only opening while I'm talking, well, your ears are choosing to listen to what I'm saying because our brains work like that. So the fact that you're hearing no noise now is just an illusion. Or illusion is something visible, right? So what do you say when you're hearing some stuff? Right, and that's why I love using noise gates. Noise gates are something that is really good to use when you're doing multi-channel recording with drums, for instance, when you have multiple microphones and you want to gate out certain things and you only want drum hits to go through instead of all of the other sounds. Now, if you want to check out the channel strip plugin here by Audio Damage, then I have a link down below in the description. And also, I do suggest that you go and check out my video from about the Brusvi Klevgren app, because it's a noise gate, noise cleaning kind of thing, but it's actually not a conventional noise gate. A bit more rainy. As you can hear, there's a lot of background noise from the road, from the wind. And so, Jacob, if you would kindly press the learn button and I'll be quiet. And there we go. That's Bruce. So right now I am using it uses several gates or something. I don't know, but it cleans out audio in a very, very different way. So you can remove stuff like ground hum from your recordings or your audio recordings and stuff like that. If you have a noisy guitar amplifier, if you're a guitarist, well, you know about that. You can even clean those. I can't remember what I was going to say because the battery in my camera died. You see, lately I've been trying to use my DSLR camera that I normally use for photography, but I want to use it to make videos because sometimes I just get much better shots with that one than I get with the iPhone 6. I've been using the iPhone 6 to film with for several years now, many years, and before that an iPhone 5. And now I just want to try to up my camera game a little bit. But I'm still learning about how to use them and stuff, and I'm limited to 30 frames per second. It doesn't really matter to me. It doesn't need to be 60. I think 30 looks good enough, but yeah, so you're gonna have to deal with this. I have ordered more batteries for this thing, so hopefully it won't happen again. If you like this episode, if you want to see more like this, if you want to support me, then you have all the links here on the side. So you got the Patreon, you got the PayPal, you got the other stuff. Hit me up on Instagram and tag me whenever you put out some cool jam or something with a new piece of gear or an app or something you're doing. Communicate with me. I want to communicate with people through music, and Instagram is really great for that because it's of the small format. It's very, very little to consume very instantly, and it doesn't take that long to make. Not as long as it takes to make videos like this on my regular channel. So hit me up on Instagram, follow me there, and talk to me with music, please. So as usual, I wish you a very productive week. Now go finger all of your stuff and have a lot of fun doing it. I hope that this camera saved. Did it save? I don't know. I don't know until I check the footage here.
Baseline skanker. Drop the bass.